Hey everybody, Life's Journey here. So as you guys can see by the thumbnail, I wanted to talk about BDRs. And as a BDR ambassador, and yes, I am a BDR ambassador. So if you guys have not been to the BDRs, I would definitely go to ridebdr.com and check it out. But my point of this video is to talk about the experiences on a BDR and kind of what entails them. And now I will get a ton of comments on this because there's other people that have ridden BDRs as well. And so let me go through the laundry list. So I've got Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, Chattahoochee, PA Wild, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and South Dakota X. Yes. Supposed to do some of the Southeast or try to do the Southeast this year. I didn't get to it last year, unfortunately. So I've had a pretty good, spreading of BDRs and some X's and stuff like that. So, my thing with all that is what to experience on these. And you really have to think about some skill sets. That's my biggest thing with anybody on the BDRs is people will talk about the skill sets and kind of talk about, what's good for, new, I would say new beginner to intermediate, advanced, and then obviously an expert rider type of thing. And it's all over the place. Like everybody talks about, because like Mid-Atlantic is the easiest out of all of them. And that's pretty much well known throughout the group. The Northeast used to be one of the hardest. It's still, I believe, probably top three. There's a like section 2 and 3 of Colorado are pretty challenging. You've got, and then those passes, I mean, just think about Hagerman, Ophir for one, California, Weston Pass, if it's really wet and sloppy, can be challenging to, especially for beginners. And even, I would call kind of, intermediate riders, again, that's just, my take on it. Idaho is beautiful. It is long. It is long days in the saddle. It has some great expert sections. I would tell you that to me, Idaho was no joke, and I think you still have to be on top of you got to be on top of your game for any of these. But with Idaho, I felt like if you were a beginner, you could struggle a little bit on some of that stuff because it is some steep, rocky, a lot of sand. So you just have to be kind of prepared for that. Great ride though. It was incredible. And so I'm not going to get into every one of the BDRs, but what I will say is that I don't think you have to pack as much as you think you do. Now, especially on the East, if you're on the eastern part of the United States and you're doing the BDRs over here, it's so dense with population, gas stations, food, all that other stuff. You really don't need a lot, even for lodging. If you wanted to lodge instead of camp, there's really not a need to carry a bunch of food and all this other stuff and like tons of water and everything else. Now, when you go west, different story, especially like the Wyomings and Idahos and stuff. And I'm sure Montana, the new one, is going to be the same way. You definitely need to carry extra water, some snacks, maybe some dehydrated meal here or there just to get you through, because there are portions and parts of those places that don't have a lot of, towns that don't have a lot of like little convenience stores or little grocery stores that act as a convenience store available to you. And then sometimes you got to watch your gas out there as well, depending on what size of bike you're riding. Now, I was on a big old 1250 GSA, so I can get a 250 to 350 miles on a tank depending on my riding. So that didn't bother me so much. But if you're on a smaller bike, you might have to carry some extra gas. Like in Idaho, we were lucky enough to run into a couple of small towns where you actually had to buy gas from a private citizen who had a tank in the back of their house, and it gets expensive, $10 a gallon. So those are things that you kind of have to think about out west. Now, I don't know about the California ones. I'm sure that there's some vast parts there. Washington, Oregon, those type of things. But I know Colorado's pretty populated. You don't necessarily need to worry about carrying a bunch of food and stuff like that. Smaller bike, maybe think about a 1 liter of gas, that type of thing. But yeah, so my point on these BDRs is that you can really get, just doing a nice normal BDR to, you can get into some hairy sections and on these BDRs. So you really kind of have to watch yourself in what you're planning on doing. Like I said, I think, Hagerman, Ophir on Colorado will put some challenging stuff to you if you're new or intermediate rider. Idaho, Trinity Lakes climb. The other two guys didn't want to try it. I was going to try it, but I didn't want to do it by myself. I mean, you really would probably had to strip your bike down with no gear on it, leave it at the beginning of the route to do that expert section. We did Burnt Knob Hill. I shouldn't say we did it. We didn't do very well at it. And then we did Grizzly Mountain, which I think was fantastic. And then in the Northeast BDR, I mean, there's Mount Moses. There's a bunch of like Northeast BDR is, and it's just different, right? Different terrains. You've got on the East Coast. It's sloppy clay, mud, a lot of that stuff. And you're in the woods, heavy canopied, doing a lot of stuff there. Whereas out west, you're on top of, like California Pass is almost 13,000 feet up. And I mean, it's a climb, right? Ophir, I mean, ledges are everywhere, Corkscrew. Oh my God, you think you're just going to fall right off to the side. So, there's a lot of things on the BDRs that are fun. I would just say make sure that you have your packing stuff. Make sure to, especially west, carry extra water, extra fuel if you can. The East Coast, maybe not so much. You need all the extra water and all the extra gas because it's so densely populated. But you just have fun on the BDRs. And again, it just comes down to kind of what your skill sets are and really evaluate the route because I've been with folks that want to go do the expert sections. They get about a half mile or so in and they're like, this is not for me. So we kind of get them turned back around, get them out so they can go do the bypass, and then we meet them on the other side while we do the expert section, which is cool. I mean, that's fine because everybody has to ride their ride. You always hear that in this community, ride your ride. The other thing that I would tell you is I have done some of these BDRs with 2-3 man teams. I've done these BDRs with 6 to 9 people. It's a challenge depending on what the group is, and because there's just different riders in the group. And I would tell you the preference would be probably to have a smaller group than a larger group, because not everybody is going to ride the same. Not everybody's going to ride the same pace. You really have to kind of, figure that stuff out when you're doing a BDR. And the other factor is sometimes time constraints become, part of it. Like living here in the West, going out West, living here in the East, it's usually a full 2-day track just to get out West. And that's 2 full days of like 800 to 1,000 miles each day. So realistically, it's about 3-day trip just to get from, like, for me to go from Cincinnati to Spokane, Washington on a motorcycle would be about 3 days. Unless you just really just you're humping 1,000 miles each day, and that just is, it's mind numbing. Then you're completely drained by the time you get there. When we did Idaho, and we had to go to Jarbidge, Nevada, so it was almost 2,000 miles. We had basically one day where we did 600 and some miles, and the next day we did 950, and the next day we did like 400. And it's a lot. And then you got to start the BDR, right? So, you have to budget that stuff in there. Do you drive your rig out there or whatever? Do you ride? I like riding. The guys I like to do it with ride. You can ship your bike out and then fly out and do that if you want to do that. I think that, I get the advantages of it because you're not losing all those days of riding out. You can ship it out and it'll be out there for you. I kind of like to ride out. I feel it kind of builds up, to do the route and kind of get into a groove with the guys that you're riding with. So, there's just different strokes for different folks. But just think about when you're evaluating doing a BDR. Am I going to do expert sections? Am I not? Which BDR am I going to choose? Because based on your skill set and time of year. I see a lot of people asking, can we do Colorado and all this stuff in June? And so I'm telling you, we rode Colorado and every one of the passes, and we rode it the last week of July and still had snow in the mountains. And Hagerman actually had a cut through of about 100 feet or more, 150 feet or so, of walled 6 to 8 foot of snow on each side, and there was a cut through on it. And Wyoming mountains, the mountains still had snow, and that was like first week of August. So, matter of fact, one of the roads in Wyoming on the BDR, we had to go around it and through the woods and around the snowdrift in the road because they still couldn't get a car or trucks or anything through that section. So because there was so much snow. So think about the timing when you're going to do these. Think about, just kind of what you're going to experience. But they are absolutely fantastic to do a BDR. I've done some packing videos, some things that I've wore on a BDR. There's plenty of that stuff out there. Out west, there's a lot more places I call boondocking or BLM, BLM lands. And then you've got, on the east, it's a little bit harder to boondock because the dense population and everything, to find a place where you can just kind of pull off to the side and go do. But with that being said, like I said, there's a lot of camping spots and things that are relatively inexpensive on the east. And that's more the Northeast BDR, the Mid-Atlantic. There's some more open areas to do that stuff in. But yeah, I think if you take a look, make sure you get there's plenty of stuff on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff. And again, I talk about analysis paralysis, but the bigger thing is go do it. Enjoy your time. If you could budget an extra day or two, and I know everybody's on a tight schedule to get to these places because again, 3 days out, you ride the route, 2 or 3 days back. I mean, it's a good 10-day trip, especially for us going all the way out west, like Idaho. I mean, we had some long slogging days, a couple of days. I think one was 200 and some miles. The other one was 190 miles. Those are long days on a BDR. And when you're constantly off-road banging it. And could we have done with maybe an extra day on that route? Maybe. But, people got to work. People got to do things. And you got to get there and get back. And they're long hauls. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of people from the east going west. And you don't see a ton of people from the west doing the East Coast BDRs because it's a slog. I mean, it's usually a 5 to 6 days of just getting there and getting back. And so anyhow, I figured I'd give you guys a call. That's my text messaging stuff going off. I got people bugging me already. But I figured I would do a quick thing on the BDRs about thinking about what you're going to pack lightly. First couple of BDRs, I had more crap than I could have split with 2 people. I've gotten better over the last 2 years of packing. Try to be real minimalistic. You don't need a lot of stuff. There's a lot of population. There's enough places you can get to get things that you might need. And then again, look at the West versus the East. East is more dense. You have more opportunity for food, gas, all that other stuff. Out West, you might need to rethink how you pack for some extra water and some gasoline out that way. So anyway, hopefully this helps. Again, it's just my take a little bit on the BDRs. Fantastic organization. I'm glad to be a part of it. And I just love riding the BDRs. I think there's something to be said about riding all these back areas and meeting some of the most wonderful people you can ever meet. Hey, you'll run into a few that don't like the bikers and stuff coming through there, and that's because sometimes some people have not been nice and they've tore it up going through certain sections. But for the most part, everybody's been fantastic. They love the business, and it's a great opportunity to just get out there and see this country of ours that we don't normally get a chance to see. So, hey, hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Greatly appreciated, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.